Hi, I'm Marianne Binetti, and today I'm going to talk to you about one of the best houseplants you could possibly grow, the Sansevieria. So this is a Sansevieria. It's also called a snake plant because it looks like snake skin coming up. It's also called mother-in-law's tongue because it's barbed at the end, but I like my mother-in-law, so ignore that. It's also as tough as nails, and most important of all, it's one of the best plants for removing carbon dioxide and adding oxygen. And the reason Sansevieria is so great because it does this photosynthesis during the nighttime, when most plants do photosynthesis during the day. So while you're sleeping, this plant is cleaning the air for you and you breathe better. But I'm going to tell you 3 ways you could kill your Sansevieria plant. Number 1 is overwatering. This plant is a succulent plant. It likes dry soil and good drainage, so stop. Do not water this house plant until you stick your finger way, way down into the soil and it's dry the first inch or 2, usually about once every 10 days, not once a week. Once every 10 days when it's growing, like in the summer, but in the winter, there's less sunlight, the plant goes dormant. You should water your Sansevieria once a month, or even less. So feel that soil. The other way that people damage their Sansevieria plant is too much fertilizer. Sansevieria does not like a lot of liquid fertilizer poured on it. In fact, it doesn't like its leaves to get wet at all. It likes just the soil, the roots to be damp and then allowed to dry out. So that is why I love this fertilizer. This is called Potshots. You have to go online to order it. Osmocote makes it. It's a slow release plant food. And the important thing is not too much. When you buy the Potshots, it tells you how much based on how big the pot is. And here's a great tip. They actually, if you don't know, does your pot hold 1 quart or 1 gallon, use a measuring tape measure. I'm going to transplant this, and I could just measure across. Oh, this is about 8 inches. And so looking on the chart that comes with these Potshots, just 1 nugget goes into a pot this size. So see, that's what the Potshot nuggets look like. It's a little nugget of Osmocote slow release plant food, and it's going to go into the soil with the plant, and I'm only going to add one once a year. Now, it says every 6 months on the package, but remember, Sansevieria need very little water, very little fertilizer. They don't like sunlight hitting their leaves. They'll get sunburned. Just bright light, not direct light. And they also don't like any temperatures below 50 degrees. So the average home is perfect for Sansevieria. If you go on vacation and you leave it in the wintertime next to a cold window, it is going to suffer. So now let me show you the best tip for transplanting your Sansevieria. First of all, it likes being a little bit pot bound. So here is this pot. Go ahead. You can see all those roots. Look at it. I know it's time to repot it because of so many roots. We've got these babies coming back. I'm going to show you how to make new Sansevieria in a different video. But this soil is damp and dark because of tip number 1 when you're going to transplant, and that is water the soil the night before. That makes it easier to pull out, and now the plant is nice and plump, and it'll be easier to transplant it. But remember, I told you I'm going to be adding this slow release plant food, this little nugget that's going to feed it for a whole year. But first I'm going to add soil to the pot. Now notice the pot is only maybe 1 size bigger than this pot. I would not put a plant this size into a great big pot this size. Too big of a pot. That allows the soil to hold too much moisture. It'll encourage root rot. So this is about the right size. The important thing is the soil. Now this potting soil is potting soil that I've added perlite to. Now perlite is this little white stuff that you see in the soil. And what I did, rather than buy cacti soil, I went and bought a bag of perlite and I just poured it into my potting soil, about half and half. So now I'm going to go ahead and pour this into my pot. Now I can pull this out again. Okay, look at all those roots. And go ahead and position it so that it's maybe just half an inch below, so it means I can add a little bit more soil. I don't want this to be planted any deeper than it was growing in the first pot. I want it to be about the same level it was before. Okay, that's probably about right. And now I can just fill in. Just a little tip for you. Not only do I put down newspaper when I work in my kitchen, but I use kitchen utensils to kind of substitute for gardening. Okay, so all this goes around the edges here. A little, that's to kind of settle the soil so it's firmly. Don't push real hard, you'll break off roots. You just want to make sure you settle that in. And now I can see that I'm a little bit more. So go ahead and fill in a little bit more. Now remember, I had watered this the night before, so that soil was nice and moist. And remember, the number one way you kill a Sansevieria, too much water. So I think I'm going to just barely moisten the top of the soil here. Oops, I forgot something really important. Adding the fertilizer. So this is great because I can show you how to add the fertilizer to any of your houseplants. You simply take your finger, dig down about 1 inch to 2 inches, and bury the nugget in the soil. Cover it back up. That's it. Because what's going to happen, I'm going to water lightly in that area, trying to keep the leaves wet. Okay, there I go. That moisture, and as the soil warms up, the fertilizer will slowly disperse throughout the entire plant so that your Sansevieria can get nice and big and tall. The more leaves it has, the more photosynthesis it does, the more it scrubs away all the air pollutants in your house and gives you nice, fresh oxygen. That's a pretty good job for a plant. This has been Marianne Binetti with Easy Answers for Great Gardens.
If you enjoyed these gardening tips, subscribe to our channel so you can get updates on new videos and stay in the know about all things gardening. Click the red subscribe button below. See the description below for more information about how to connect with us on PlantersPlace.com, Facebook, and Instagram.